Welcome to Niger News Series, where we break down the headlines that matter the most, making sense of the complex, in ways that truly connect. At the heart of today's report is a question: who truly controls Africa's future? For decades, Africa has been at the center of a high-stakes global chess game, a continent rich in resources but strategically weakened by external forces and, most tragically, by actors from within. Today, we unravel the intricate web of political interference, economic sabotage, and media manipulation that has shaped Nigeria's leadership choices and, ultimately, Africa's economic destiny. From the revelations of USAID-funded propaganda by David Hundayan's explosive investigative reports, we examine how foreign powers, working with local enablers, have actively shaped Nigeria's elections and policies, often against the will of its people. The implications? A nation and a continent perpetually trapped in cycles of dependency, exploitation, and underdevelopment. But is this just another conspiracy theory? Or is it a carefully orchestrated strategy, decades in the making? Tonight, we connect the dots, laying bare the hidden forces at play in Nigeria's struggle for self-determination. The warning no one listened to. In December 2023, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, made a revelation that many dismissed. He stated that he had been pressured to enter certain political deals that he refused, believing that the Nigerian people deserved better. Critics argued that if he truly wanted power, he should have played the game and made deals with the right people. This revelation was more than just political rhetoric. It was an insight into the very structure of Nigeria's compromised political system. A system where candidates are expected to accept terms and conditions from unseen power brokers before they even assume office. The Chris Ngige precedent, a cautionary tale. We have seen this before. In 2003, Chris Ngige became the governor of Anambra State after allegedly accepting conditions set by his political godfathers. But once in office, he attempted to free himself from their grip, leading to one of the most bizarre moments in Nigerian political history, the kidnapping of a sitting governor. Yes, a serving governor was abducted in broad daylight. This was not a crime of opportunity but a message: defy the system, and you will pay the price. Fast forward to today, and the methods may be more sophisticated, but the message remains the same. The USAID funding scandal. One of the most shocking revelations of 2023 was the discovery that USAID funds, meant for development projects, were allegedly used to shape political narratives in Nigeria. Investigative journalist David Hundayan released damning evidence that exposed how certain media figures, influencers, and journalists were being paid as little as $333 per month to push propaganda. Hundayan's data suggested that Western interests were not just passively observing Nigeria's election, they were actively involved in manipulating public perception, targeting Peter Obi and his allies, while shielding certain political figures from scrutiny. This raises a crucial question: if an African leader challenges foreign interests, will he ever be allowed to rise? The bigger picture. This is not just about Nigeria. Across Africa, nations rich in natural resources continue to suffer from foreign economic and political interference. Consider this: Africa holds 30% of the world's mineral resources, yet the continent contributes just 3% to global GDP. The Democratic Republic of Congo has enough cobalt to power the world's smartphones and electric cars, yet it remains one of the poorest nations on earth. In Libya, after Muammar Gaddafi attempted to create an independent African financial system, NATO-backed forces overthrew and eliminated him, and the country has never known peace since. In Niger, France has relied on its uranium to power its nuclear plants, while millions of Nigerians live without electricity. Foreign influence is not just a theoretical concept, it has tangible, devastating effects. The future at stake: food, economy, and sovereignty. one of the most alarming aspects of foreign control is the recent push for genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in Africa. GMO seeds are engineered in laboratories to have specific traits, such as pest resistance or drought tolerance. The catch? They do not regenerate naturally, meaning that every planting season, farmers must purchase new seeds from the same foreign suppliers. This creates long-term economic dependence, effectively making food production another tool of control. Africa does not lack arable land. Instead of embracing foreign-controlled food production systems, we should expand our local agricultural efforts, increase land under cultivation, and support indigenous farming techniques. The way forward. So how do we fight back? Recognizing the enemy within. Corruption thrives on collaboration. Foreign entities can only manipulate Africa because they have local enablers willing to sell out their own people. If African leaders refuse to sign exploitative contracts, foreign interests would have no leverage. Investing in self-reliance, Nigeria and Africa must control their own natural resources, from oil to minerals to agriculture. Rather than exporting raw materials, we must develop industries that process these resources into finished products. Media literacy and public awareness. The age of disinformation is here. Citizens must critically evaluate the narratives pushed by mainstream and social media. Investigative journalism must be protected and supported, ensuring that stories like those uncovered by David Hundayan are not buried or dismissed as mere conspiracy theories. A united Africa. The ultimate goal must be African economic unity. When Africa speaks with one voice, as China and India have done, the world will have no choice but to listen. Conclusion. Africa stands at a crossroads. The choices we make today will determine whether we remain a continent of exploited resources or a global economic powerhouse. History tells us that those who challenge the status quo, whether they be Peter Obi, Thomas Sankara, or Patrice Lumumba, are often met with resistance. But history also tells us that change is inevitable. The West fears a strong, independent Africa because they understand its potential. The real question is, do we? The battle for Africa's future is not being fought in Washington, London, or Beijing. It is being fought right here, in the policies we accept, the leaders we support, and the values we uphold. It is time for Africans to take back control.